Ladies and gentlemen, listen up, because today I'm going to give you a strategy that is even more powerful than no contact. And if you apply this, not only will you reclaim your power, but you'll become so magnetic, so unstoppable, that people will feel your presence without you even being there. See, no contact is a great first step. It creates space. It cuts off the energy that fuels toxic cycles. But here's the problem. Most people who use no contact are still stuck in a reactive state. They're waiting, hoping, wondering, will they notice? Will they come back? That's not power, that's passivity. The real strategy, the one that changes everything, is total identity shift. You don't just cut off contact. You cut off the old version of yourself. Shift from reaction to creation. Most people react to pain. They go no contact and sit in silence, hoping something will change. But winners, true masters of their destiny, use pain as fuel. You have to create a new reality so compelling that your past becomes irrelevant. Don't just disappear, evolve. Master your emotional state. Your emotions are either weapons or weaknesses, and the difference is whether you control them or they control you. If you let loneliness, sadness, or anger dictate your actions, you're still playing their game. But if you train yourself through discipline, through habits, through mindset shifts, to feel powerful even in silence, then you've already won. Where focus goes, energy flows. Ask yourself, what are you focusing on? If your mind is stuck on the past, you're feeding it energy. If you focus on your future, on your growth, on becoming the best version of yourself, you create an unstoppable momentum that makes you magnetic. Think about it. Have you ever noticed that people who are thriving, who are deeply focused on their passion, suddenly become attractive to everyone around them? That's because success is magnetic. Take massive action. Transformation doesn't happen in your head, it happens in the gym, in the books you read, in the work you do, in the habits you build. You want to truly reclaim your power? Stop overthinking and start doing. Get in the best shape of your life. Start that business, that project, that dream you've been postponing. Surround yourself with people who elevate you, not those who drain you. When you operate at a higher frequency, people will feel it. And trust me, when that person who doubted you sees what you've become, they won't just regret leaving, they'll realize they never really knew you at all. Reclaim your power for you. The biggest shift you can make is this. Stop seeking validation from the outside. Because when you get to a place where your own joy, confidence, and self-worth come from within, nothing can shake you. Not rejection, not silence, not loss. And when you reach that level, you won't care if they come back, because by then, you will have outgrown them. So my challenge to you today is this. Don't just go no contact. Go all in on yourself. Commit to this process, and I promise you, when you step into your new power, you won't just get attention, you'll get options. You'll get freedom. You'll get the life you deserve. And that is true power. Now go out there and claim it. Let's go. No contact is a powerful tool, no doubt. It creates space. It stops unhealthy patterns. It removes you from situations that drain your energy. But here's the problem. Most people use no contact as a defense mechanism rather than a growth strategy. They think, if I just disappear, maybe they'll miss me. Maybe they'll regret leaving. Maybe they'll reach out. And right there in that thought is the real issue. Because no contact by itself does not make you more attractive. It does not make you stronger. It does not make you more powerful. It only creates silence. And silence alone does not transform you. What does? Growth. Think about it. If you stop talking to someone but remain the exact same person you were when they left, what's changed? You're still carrying the same habits, the same patterns, the same energy. And if they ever come back, the dynamic remains the same. Nothing shifts. That's why no contact alone isn't enough. You need to evolve so radically that the old version of you becomes unrecognizable. Not to them, not to the world, but to yourself. And this is where the real magic happens. Because the moment you start growing, leveling up, shifting into the strongest, most confident, most purpose-driven version of yourself, everything changes. When you focus on growth instead of waiting, you send a powerful signal, not just to others, but to your subconscious mind. I am not waiting for anyone to see my value. I am becoming too valuable to ignore. And here's the best part. When you start improving yourself, You stop obsessing over the past. You stop needing validation. You stop wondering if they miss you, if they'll reach out, if they regret losing you, because by that time, you'll be so focused on your future that your past won't even feel relevant anymore. Think of it like this. If you broke up with someone a year ago, but since then you've built an incredible physique, started a business, deepened your friendships, developed unshakable confidence, and found a renewed sense of purpose, do you think you'd even care about what they're doing? No, because by then you're playing a bigger game. The reason people struggle after a breakup or after cutting someone off is because they don't fill the void with something greater. They remove the person but don't replace that space with purpose. And when that space is empty, the mind naturally drifts back to old memories, old patterns, old emotions. But when you make personal growth your obsession, when you pour your energy into fitness, into learning, into new experiences, into pushing your limits, there is no void, there's only momentum. And momentum is magnetic. People can feel when you're thriving. They can sense when you're stepping into your power, and that's when the dynamic shifts. See, when you go no contact but remain the same, you're just creating silence. But when you transform, when you truly evolve into a higher version of yourself, you don't just create silence, you create distance. And that distance isn't just physical, it's energetic. It sends a message louder than words ever could. I am not the same person you left. I am not the same person you ignored. I am not the same person who once needed your validation. I am more. And that energy, that self-assuredness, that unstoppable momentum, that's what draws people in. Not games, not waiting, not hoping. Growth is the ultimate attraction. And the most powerful part, by the time you've evolved to that level, you won't even care whether they come back because you'll be too focused on where you're going. Most people live their lives in a constant state of reaction. Something happens and they respond. Someone pulls away and they chase. Someone hurts them and they dwell on it. Someone leaves and they spend weeks, months, or even years analyzing every detail, replaying conversations, wondering what went wrong. They give their power away because their emotions, their energy, their entire mental state are dictated by external circumstances. They become prisoners of their past, trapped in a cycle of reaction. But power doesn't come from reaction. Power comes from creation. Imagine for a moment that you are an artist and your life is a blank canvas. Right now, are you painting a masterpiece of purpose, growth, and strength? Or are you letting the world throw random colors onto your canvas while you just sit back and watch? Because that's exactly what happens when you live in reaction mode. You're letting outside forces dictate your reality instead of creating the reality you want. And this is why so many people struggle after a breakup, after rejection, after losing something or someone they cared about, because they are waiting for closure, waiting for a sign, waiting for the other person to validate their worth by coming back, waiting for time to heal them instead of actively taking control of their healing process. But time doesn't heal, action heals. And that's where the shift happens. Instead of waiting for life to change, you change your life. Instead of reacting to what's happened to you, you create something new. Because here's the truth, the most powerful thing you can do after experiencing loss, pain, or rejection is to stop focusing on what you've lost and start focusing on what you can build. Right now, you have two choices. You can spend the next 6 months in a reactive state, checking their social media, wondering what they're doing, overanalyzing the past. Or you can spend the next 6 months in a creative state, building a version of yourself so strong, so confident, so fulfilled that when you look back, you'll barely recognize the person you used to be. Because the moment you shift from reaction to creation, everything changes. Instead of waking up and feeling drained by emotions, you wake up and feel excited about the future. Instead of wasting energy wondering if they miss you, you use that energy to become someone impossible to ignore. Instead of reliving old memories, you create new experiences so fulfilling that the past fades into insignificance. And when you make this shift, something incredible happens. You stop chasing and you start attracting. Because people are drawn to those who are fully alive, fully engaged in their own growth, fully committed to their own evolution. Think about the most charismatic, magnetic, successful people you've ever met. Do they sit around waiting for validation? Do they waste time dwelling on what they've lost? No. They create, they build, they move forward with such conviction and purpose that the past becomes irrelevant. And this is what you must do. Every time you catch yourself overanalyzing the past, ask yourself, what am I creating right now? Every time you feel tempted to check their social media, ask yourself, am I reacting or creating? Every time you feel stuck, ask yourself, what can I build today that moves me forward? Because life will test you. It will throw challenges your way. It will present you with moments where you can either stay stuck in reaction mode or step into the role of a creator. And when you consistently choose creation over reaction, you reclaim your power. You stop waiting for someone else to give you closure because you create your own closure. You stop hoping someone will recognize your worth because you embody your worth. You stop living in the shadow of what was because you're too busy building what's next. And when you master this shift, you don't just move on, you level up. Your emotions are either your greatest strength or your biggest weakness. They can drive you forward with unstoppable momentum or trap you in a cycle of self-doubt, overthinking, and regret. The difference? Who's in control? You or them? Most people believe emotions are something that just happened to them. They think sadness, anger, frustration, or loneliness are things they have no choice but to endure. But here's the truth. Your emotions don't control you unless you allow them to. Think about it. Have you ever seen someone go through the same painful experience as you, but instead of breaking down, they thrived? Have you ever watched someone bounce back from rejection, heartbreak, or failure and use it as a stepping stone to something greater? The only difference between them and the people who stay stuck in pain is that they understand this one rule. Your emotions are a tool, not a master. When you let emotions dictate your actions, you're giving away your power. You're letting a temporary feeling, something that comes and goes, determine your entire future. And the problem with that? Emotions lie. Think about all the times your emotions have convinced you of something that wasn't true. The times you thought you couldn't live without someone, only to realize later you were fine. The times you believed you weren't good enough, only to later prove yourself wrong. The moments where pain made you feel like things would never get better, only for you to wake up weeks or months later realizing you survived. This is why mastering your emotional state is everything. Because when you learn to take control, when you learn to shift your emotions instead of letting them shift you, nothing can stop you. Most people wait to feel better before taking action. They think, once I stop hurting, I'll move on. Once I feel motivated, I'll work on myself. Once I stop missing them, I'll focus on my future. But that's backward. You don't wait to feel better to take action. You take action to feel better. You don't wait to feel better to take action. You take action to feel better. Because movement creates momentum. Action shifts emotions faster than waiting ever will. You don't feel confident and then go to the gym. You go to the gym and confidence follows. You don't feel healed and then start focusing on yourself. You focus on yourself and healing follows. You don't feel strong and then make bold choices. You make bold choices and strength follows. And the fastest way to control your emotions? Control your physiology. Try feeling depressed with your shoulders back, your chest open, your breathing deep, and your voice strong. Try feeling weak when you're lifting weights, running hard, or pushing yourself beyond your limits. Try feeling like a victim when you're taking charge of your life, setting goals, and working relentlessly toward them. You can't, because your body and mind are connected. Change one and the other follows. When you master this, you stop letting emotions dictate your reality. You stop letting a bad day turn into a bad week. You stop letting a painful experience define your future. You stop making decisions from a place of fear, weakness, or desperation, and start making them from a place of strength, confidence, and certainty. And the irony? The moment you stop letting your emotions control you, you become more attractive, more powerful, and more magnetic than ever before. Because people can feel it when someone is in control of their own state. It's the energy of leaders, of high achievers, of people who don't crumble under pressure, but rise above it. So next time you feel lost, sad, or uncertain, don't ask yourself, why do I feel this way? Ask yourself, how can I shift this feeling right now? Move your body, change your focus, take action, step into power. Because the faster you take control of your emotions, the faster you take control of your life. Whatever you focus on expands. Your energy, emotions, and actions follow your attention. If you focus on what's missing, you feel lack. If you focus on past mistakes, you feel regret. If you focus on who left, you feel abandoned. But if you focus on what's ahead, you feel excited. If you focus on growth, you feel empowered. If you focus on creating a life that excites you, you feel unstoppable. This is not just some motivational idea, it's a law of life. Your brain is a powerful filter. There's too much information in the world for you to process everything, so your mind chooses what to notice based on what you believe is important. This is why when you buy a new car, you suddenly start seeing that exact model everywhere. It's not that those cars weren't there before, it's that your brain is now focused on them. Now think about how this applies to your life. If you constantly think about what went wrong, your brain will find more reasons to justify why things are bad. If you keep focusing on your pain, your mind will reinforce that pain. If you tell yourself you're not good enough, your brain will look for evidence to prove it. But the opposite is also true. If you start focusing on solutions, your brain will look for them. If you shift your focus to opportunities, suddenly you'll start noticing them everywhere. If you tell yourself you're getting stronger, your mind will start finding proof of your strength. This is why where focus goes, energy flows. If you spend your days checking someone's social media, waiting for a text, or replaying conversations, all your energy is flowing backward. You're feeding a version of yourself that no longer exists. You're watering a garden that no longer grows. You're giving power to something that is no longer serving you. And the result? You stay stuck. You feel drained. You feel powerless. But the moment you shift your focus to what's next, everything changes. Think about the most successful, confident, and magnetic people you know. Do they waste time dwelling on the past? Do they obsess over who left or what didn't work? No. They channel their focus toward what they can control, not what they can't. They direct their energy toward creating, building, and growing, and because of that, they thrive. If you want to shift your reality, you must first shift your focus. Catch yourself when your mind drifts to the past. Instead of thinking, why did this happen to me? Ask, what can I learn from this? Instead of focusing on what's missing, focus on what's possible. Instead of waiting for things to change, shift your energy toward making things happen. And here's the truth. The past has no power over you unless you keep feeding it. Stop giving your energy to old stories. Stop letting your thoughts revolve around people who aren't adding to your life. Stop waiting for someone else's validation when the only validation you need is your own. When you learn to direct your focus intentionally, you take control of your entire life. Your energy shifts, your confidence grows, your world starts to reflect the power of your mindset. And when you operate from this place of focus and certainty, people feel it. You no longer chase because you are the prize. And that's the ultimate power, knowing that whatever you focus on, you create more of. So focus wisely, focus powerfully, focus forward. The most powerful transformation you can make isn't external, it's internal. It's not just about getting in shape, making more money, or achieving new goals. Those things are great, but true power comes from shifting your identity, from rewriting the story of who you are. Because here's the truth. Every action you take is a reflection of what you believe about yourself. Your habits, your choices, your relationships, all of them are dictated by the identity you've accepted as your own. If you see yourself as someone who always struggles, you'll keep struggling. If you believe you're not worthy of success, you'll unconsciously sabotage your own progress. If you think you're weak, you'll act weak. But if you shift your identity, if you become the kind of person who thrives, everything changes. This is why so many people struggle after a breakup, rejection, or any form of loss. Because their identity was wrapped up in that relationship, that person, or that version of themselves. When it's gone, they feel lost. They don't just lose someone, they lose a piece of who they thought they were. And if they don't redefine their identity, they stay stuck. They either chase the past or fall into patterns of self-doubt, desperation, and inaction. But here's what separates those who rise from those who stay stuck. The ones who rise use the loss as an opportunity to rebuild. Instead of clinging to who they were, they ask, who do I want to become? Instead of staying in old patterns, they create new standards for themselves. Instead of defining themselves by the past, they use it as fuel to construct a stronger, more powerful identity. And this is where everything shifts. Think about it. If you truly saw yourself as someone powerful, confident, and unshakable, would you tolerate the same things? Would you keep chasing people who don't see your worth? Would you waste time overanalyzing the past? Would you keep living in the same cycles? No, because your identity wouldn't allow it. When you elevate your identity, your standards rise with it. You don't settle because the new version of you wouldn't accept less than they deserve. You don't chase because your self-worth is no longer dependent on external validation. You don't dwell on the past because you're too focused on who you are becoming. And the key to this transformation, you act as if you already are that person. Not someday, not when you feel ready, right now. You start thinking, moving, and making decisions as the strongest version of yourself. You wake up and ask yourself, how would the most confident, powerful version of me show up today? And then you act accordingly. Because identity isn't something you wait for, it's something you create. And the moment you start showing up as that person, something incredible happens. You start believing it. Your mind starts to align with your new reality. Your actions reinforce your new identity. And soon you're not just pretending to be confident, you are confident. You're not just acting strong, you are strong. And by the time the past tries to pull you back, you won't even recognize the old version of yourself anymore because you've become something greater. You've evolved. You've stepped into the identity of someone who doesn't just survive, they thrive. Nothing changes until you take action. You can think about growth all day, visualize success and plan for the future, but if you don't take consistent, intentional steps, nothing will shift. Too many people get stuck in their heads, waiting for the perfect moment, waiting for motivation, or waiting for circumstances to align. But the truth is, action is what creates change, not waiting, not overthinking, not wishing. Every transformation in life starts with a decision, but that decision only matters if it's followed by action. The problem is that most people overcomplicate action. They think they need a perfect plan, all the answers, or the right emotional state before they can move forward, but that's not how it works. Clarity doesn't come before action, it comes from action. Confidence doesn't come before action, it comes from action. Healing doesn't come before action, it comes from action. The moment you start moving, momentum kicks in. When you take that first step, no matter how small, you shift your entire state. You stop feeling stuck. You stop waiting. You stop giving power to doubt and fear because action, even imperfect action, creates progress, and progress creates motivation. Think about it. Have you ever spent days, weeks, or even months stuck in indecision, worrying about what to do, analyzing every possible outcome, only to feel exhausted and still be in the same place? Now compare that to the times you just did something. Even if it wasn't perfect, even if you didn't have all the answers, you felt better because taking action immediately pulls you out of your head and into momentum. And that's the key, momentum. It's not about taking one massive step. It's about taking small, consistent steps every single day. You don't have to change your entire life overnight, but you must start. If you want to build confidence, take action. If you want to heal, take action. If you want to create a better future, take action. Waiting won't do it. Overthinking won't do it. Action will. And here's the truth. Most people know what they need to do. They just don't do it. They say they want to move on, but they keep checking their ex's social media. They say they want to improve, but they keep making the same choices. They say they want to be stronger, but they let emotions control them. You can't just hope things will get better. You must make them better. So here's the challenge. Decide right now, what is one action you can take today? Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Maybe it's deleting old conversations that keep you stuck in the past. Maybe it's hitting the gym, even if you don't feel like it. Maybe it's setting a new goal, writing it down and committing to it. Maybe it's finally cutting off the toxic habits that are holding you back. Whatever it is, do it, because every single action you take moves you closer to the person you're meant to be. And once you start, don't stop. Momentum is built through consistency. You don't have to feel like it every day. You don't have to be motivated every day. You just have to show up. The people who win in life aren't always the smartest, the strongest, or the most talented. They're the ones who take action when others hesitate. They're the ones who keep moving forward when others give up. They're the ones who stop waiting for the perfect time and start creating the perfect time. Because when you take action consistently, you don't just change your life. You become unstoppable. At the end of the day, the power to transform your life has always been in your hands. Not in the hands of your past, not in the hands of the people who walked away, not in the circumstances you can't control, but in you. Because the most powerful strategy isn't just about going no contact or cutting people off. It's about something even bigger. It's about taking your power back. It's about mastering your emotions instead of letting them dictate your actions. It's about shifting your focus from what's lost to what's next. It's about redefining your identity, stepping into your highest potential, and acting as if you already are the strongest, most confident version of yourself. And above all, it's about taking action every single day. Because life isn't about waiting for change, it's about creating it. The moment you stop looking back, the moment you stop waiting, the moment you stop feeding the past with your energy, that's the moment you become truly free. That's the moment you reclaim control over your destiny. So make the decision. Not tomorrow, not next week. Right now, decide that you're done with old patterns. Decide that you're no longer giving your power away. Decide that from this moment forward, you are stepping into the next level of your life. And then act on it. Because once you do that, you won't just move on, you'll rise. You'll evolve. You'll become someone so strong, so unshakable, so powerful that the past will no longer define you. And when that happens, you won't have to chase anything. Because everything meant for you will start chasing you. The power is yours. Now go claim it.